So welcome everybody to Healing Hearts session. It's a journey for healing your heart and finding love. I myself am Suman Mangra, founder of Manifestation Maven, and I'm here today with an amazing, wonderful guest speaker. Really looking forward to introduce her properly in a moment, but we've got Manny Bains with us today as well, who is a love manifestation coach. So just a little bit of an agenda that we've got going on, just so you've got an idea of what we're doing today. So we're going to go through some ground rules, do the introduction for Manny. Then I want to talk a little bit about the purpose of why I put this together. We're going to do a grounded meditation. I'm quite well known for doing my little meditation. So I wanted to get us all grounded so we're ready for the learnings and the healing. So we'll go into talking about self-awareness, options for a way forward, creating visions, goals. We're going to do goal setting work, and we're going to talk about what action steps we're going to take. And then we're going to just talk a bit about increasing our self-love. And we're actually doing a little bit of a different style today. Normally what I do is Q&A right at the end, but Manny's going to do a really powerful healing hearts meditation at the end. And we don't want to have any discussions after that. We want to just close the event at the end of the meditation. So anything you want to ask, speak and ask throughout the session, and you got that last bit before the last meditation. So I just thought I'd put that out there so you guys are aware and don't wait right the way to the end. So without further ado, the ground rules, just to keep your mics muted. I'm waiting until directed for questions and answers, but feel free to unmute yourselves when you feel like there's something that you want to share or say. You can put your hands up or put something in the comments, bearing in mind that I'm multitasking at the moment with keeping up with the chat box as well as managing the slides. I may miss something, so if I don't see it, if Manny, you can just let me know, or you guys can just unmute yourself and tell me. We're a small group today, so it shouldn't be a problem. So if you are going to be using your phone and you think you might be walking around, just switch your camera off. Sometimes it can just be a bit distracting for other users. If the session runs over and you need to leave at a set time, that's not a problem. Like I said, it will be recorded and sent to you guys. And of course, do engage with the session. You know, it's a small group. I hope you guys do engage with it. I know sometimes some stuff can be things that we don't want to necessarily share, or we feel a bit hesitant, but I want you to feel like this is a confidential and comfortable, safe space, because that's the way we can all help one another and we can get a bit more, I guess, support you in a more effective way. So I do engage with the session. And as I've mentioned in my emails that I sent out, hopefully you've got a notebook and pen at hand, because there'll be plenty of note taking, because there'll be so many golden nuggets and wisdom dropped today. So now I'm just going to introduce our wonderful Maninda Bains, who's also known as Manny Bains. Manny is a love manifestation coach. She's also an Indian matchmaker. She's an upcoming author, and she's going to be writing her first book called One Step at a Time, which is going to publish soon. So I'm really excited to ask her a little bit more about this too. She's the managing director of and founder of Rishta Solve, which is a matchmaking and coaching company. So such an exciting time for Manny right now. Purpose of her life: to help people build great relationships. So absolutely the most perfect person to have in this session as a guest speaker today. I'm so privileged and honoured to have her. She loves to share her knowledge through daily quotes, blogs and videos. Again, a woman after my own heart. And she offers live workshops, 6-week coaching program, weekend retreats, and she also offers support through a Facebook group. So if you're not already connected with Manny on the social media sites, do connect with her and do add yourself to her Facebook group, Love Life Manifestation. Just to add on that, I do have a Facebook group as well, Manifestation Haven. Feel free to join that as well if you're not already part of it. So Manny, welcome to today's session. I'd like you to say a few words and share a little bit more about yourself, maybe something that's not mentioned here, or a little bit on the back of the information that has been shared already.
Hello, Suman. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me here. I think you explain more than I am, actually. Thank you very much for making me feel so special. And I mean, I don't know, even like, oh my God, like I'm so emotional now. You know, I have all these qualities and I've done that much in my life. I'm so glad to be here. So my story is that I've been through relationship issue, personal relationship, and a relationship with other people, marriage relationship. But I manifested my life. I created this life. And I'm still married with the same person from last 21 years. So I didn't let go. I think there is a way we can transform rather than always thinking about fighting against each other. So I decided to change the things around me, look at the positive side. And I've been working every single day, every evening before I go to bed. And sometimes I see in my dreams, I'm also working with my relationship issues, my self manifestations. I'm always creating in my daytime, in my dreams, go for a walk. I'm always healing my thoughts. Yeah. So, story like my story was like I come from India. I born in very little village. So the people in India, obviously, the very, very limited, very, very limited. So I was so glad to be the first woman, first girl in my village to be graduated. Then I didn't stop. I achieved further education, post graduation. I got married. I came over here, and I didn't know my life was already decided and planned. And I tried to fit in, and I couldn't fit in. And I think people didn't even let me fit in. So it was overwhelming experience. It was a really painful experience. I was emotionally, mentally, completely, you know, um, I still feel the pain in me. Yes, I was really, really low. I lost my confidence, self-esteem altogether. So there was a time I was on my own with 3 kids. I lived about 7 years on my own, but I still carried on working, try to be good to myself. Doesn't matter if people are bad to you, but you don't have to take that to heart. Even it was still touching my heart. It was touching my emotional health, touching my mental health. But I carried on, focus on my transformation and celebrate my small steps, small achievements, and had a great big vision for my life. That's where I'm heading to, and I think I have achieved a lot, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Manny. And I know that you're going to share a lot more with us as the session progresses. And so looking forward to your insights and your reflections, because me and Manny always have some amazing conversations, and we're just so much on the same page as each other with so many things. But sometimes there's still some nuggets that Manny throws. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's so interesting, and that's such a relevant, valid point. So I'm really looking forward to that to being shared today as well. So moving on, just a little bit around the purpose. So some of you already understand the purpose of why I've created this event, but I thought I'd just summarize it a bit as well, just to kind of clarify. So this is to help people who are single and looking for love, but I didn't want it to be limited, because sometimes we can be in relationships and still sometimes maybe suffering a bit. So I did want to help people who are currently in relationships and want to find improvement or empowerment within existing relations. It's also about supporting with identifying patterns and behaviours that we might not be fully aware of. So how to help people to get that awareness, because I always, honestly, for me, the awareness is the first key. Once you know what's going on and you can see what's going on, you can start doing something about it, and you can start improving it. When you're in a place of ignorance maybe and just unawareness, sometimes things can carry on going and you keep waiting for things to get better, but you don't even know where to start because you don't have that awareness. So that's number one priority for today. But also helping with finding the way forwards, because sometimes you all of a sudden get the awareness, but you still don't know where to start or what to do or what tips or things. So myself and Manny want to make sure we give you guys some really good tools and strategies today, and also just helping with the deeper healing meditation. Originally I was going to have another guest speaker who wasn't available, and I think again we talked about divine timing. It was meant to be, because Manny was the one who was supposed to be providing this healing meditation today. But the other biggest purpose, and I haven't wrote it here, when it was Valentine's, and I understood that like a lot of people in love celebrate it, enjoy it, but people who are sometimes single, or you know, struggling to find relationships, struggling to find the connection, or like I've said, suffering in a relationship where it's not all lovey-dovey and you're not having the best time, you know, that those people do struggle. And because of lockdown and everything going on right now, with dating scene being quite difficult for people as well, I was speaking to some clients as well who were single, and they also live on their own, and I thought the loneliness has been probably 10 times for people living like on a flat in their own, and they can't even visit their family or their friends. And it was just all these different factors. And so I was just like, I want to put an event out there to try and support in a way that I can. And there's been a massive delay, because originally it was going to be in February, then it was going to be in March, so it brings us to April. But again, everything happens for a reason, and whoever's meant to be here today was supposed to be here at this time. So I'm hoping that we can get some healing from today's session and start on that journey to start repairing those emotions and feelings that we've got going, because we're always with ourselves and our hearts wherever we go, and if that's not in a great place, we don't be of much use to ourselves and others. So I'm hoping there'll be some difference that can be made for yourselves today, and equally gaining a bit more healing myself whilst I'm on my journey too. So I'm going to do a quick grounded meditation with you guys. So just get yourselves comfortable, just sit comfortably wherever you are. You can turn your screens off if you wish to, and just close your eyes, and we're going to do some deep breaths. And I'm going to put some music on as well. So I'm just going to stop. Well, I'm going to see if I'm able to share the music from my screen. And hopefully you guys can hear this. Let me just share the sound. Can you hear that okay? Awesome. So when you're ready, just going to breathe through the nose and breathe out of the mouth. So when you're breathing in, hold the breath for a few seconds and then release it through the mouth. And just get really, really comfortable and relaxed wherever you're sitting right now. I want, if you're sitting on a seat, have your back straight, but just relax your shoulders. And just relax and make your body go a bit limp, the arms are a bit relaxed. And as you're breathing, something I really like to encourage people to do whilst they're doing their breathing, when you're breathing in, breathe in positive, beautiful feelings, thoughts and energies, anything that's positive, happy, loving, makes you feel joyful, that type of energy, breathe that in. And when you're breathing in and you're holding it there for a few seconds, let those nice, beautiful energies just seep into your soul from your heart, and it really go into the depth of your energies and your cells of your body, and just vibrating through your body. And as you hear my voice, each word I'm saying, as you hear the music, it's helping you relax furthermore. And even if there's any sounds you can hear in your room right now, or sounds outside the window maybe, they're all helping you relax. The way the temperature of the room is right now is just right for you. And the way your clothes are even feeling against your skin, all of this is just helping you relax more and more, and making you feel so comfortable, so relaxed. Now, as you're breathing in and out, when you breathe out, I want you to breathe out any kind of negativity that you might be holding on to. Maybe there's some frustrations that have been niggling you today. Maybe there's some resentments that have been building up over the week. Whatever it may be, now's the time to release that and let it go out of your body. So breathing in all the positivity and the beauty, breathing out any negativity. Now, as you're just sitting there and you're getting relaxed, I want you to imagine some roots coming out from your feet, like tree roots, and they're going into the ground. And maybe they're 2 or 3 feet deep, but they're really connecting you to the Mother Earth plane, like being a grounded tree. And from these roots that are now connected energetically to the mother plane, I want you to just absorb anything that you need from Mother Earth, the nutrients. Start absorbing it inside yourself and feel it traveling up your feet, up your legs, into your body. So all the glorious gifts Mother Nature's got to give us, you can start absorbing that through to your body now. And then I want you to imagine as if on the top of your head, on the crown of your head, your crown chakra has opened up. And there's a beautiful golden white light energy traveling inside yourself now. And it's a golden heavenly light. It's got healing in it. It's got wisdom in it. It's the universal energy. Maybe even godly energy you're feeling now coming inside yourself through the top of your head. And it's trickling down inside your body. And as it trickles down your body, it's helping your body light up and glow. And you can feel it going down, relaxing your face. Your eyes muscles are softening, your jaws loosening up. It's trickling down your neck and your shoulders. It's traveling down your arms, all the way to your wrists and your fingertips. It's going down your body now, in your heart space, in your stomach, down your back. And then it's traveling all the way down through your legs, through your thighs, feeling it going down your knees, down your shins, your calves, and into your feet, all the way to the tips of your toes. So now with this beautiful energy that you're absorbing from the ground as well as from the universe, you're fully connected now to the universal energy and the physical planes of the planet. And I want you to just feel that this energy inside yourself growing and glowing and really getting you ready for today's session, because you're open to learning, you're open to healing, you're open to sharing and supporting others in the group. And there's going to be some nuggets and wisdom shared today that you definitely are needing today, and spiritual guides are going to come with us today and help us make sure that these messages are received. And as you just sit there for a few moments, just holding on to this feeling and this energy, take a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back into the room gently, and just take a few moments to just loosen up your body, shake yourself a little bit, and just get more present and back into the room. Hope that was good for you guys. Hope I haven't made anybody go all the way to sleep. Are we all back? Okay, those of you with your screens, and I can see you're all back now, so that's great. So the reason of doing this grounded meditation is, first of all, to all get us all in a nice relaxed space energetically, be grounded and connected for the session. But also there's this element of our critical faculty that sometimes thoughts and ideas that are coming to help us, we can sometimes reject them. And once we get grounded, our critical faculties open. So it allows our mind to actually take on board suggestions and solutions. So we're in a more, again, effective way of learning and healing. So we're going to go straight into, oops, go to the wrong page. Oh, it keeps on taking me to the link. Let me click somewhere else. That's it. Self-awareness. So that's our first topic of today. So me and Manny are going to discuss this, and feel free to join in with any thoughts you have on any points that we make. So first of all, I want to ask the question, what is self-awareness? I don't know if anybody else wants to share their thoughts in the chat or with both of us in a moment, but I want to ask Manny, first of all, what would you say is self-awareness?
From me, it starts within. So how I feel in my body. So that's self-awareness to me, because whatever the world is around me is my reflection. So why I'm reflecting this, why I'm attracting pain in my life, what's going on within me. So to me, self-awareness is the sensation in my body, any aches and pains I have in my body, and what that pain or aches, what they're telling me. So any fluid I feel in my body, and if I feel tight chest, why do I feel this tight chest? To me, becoming fully aware of my body, each cell of my body is a self-awareness. That's
Yeah,
how I see it.
I like that. And I think it's just, yeah, it's being aware of what's going on with us, definitely physically. And I think it's an element of the whole body, mind, spirit. Physically, how are we feeling about things? Have we got, like you said, the tightness in our body sometimes when a situation happens? Where are we feeling any pains? We've also got the mental side of it. Mentally, where are we at? How are we seeing things? How are we thinking about things? And then emotionally as well. I think it's a little bit of that too. I remember when we were putting these slides together and I was getting some notes from yourself, Manny, you talked about feeling into the feelings. Do you
Yeah.
want to share a little bit about a bit more on this? Because I think this is a really interesting one. It's like, how can we really feel into the feelings? And I sometimes feel people hold back from really feeling stuff. And I hold my hands up to this, really
Yeah.
feeling things, because we're trying to protect our emotions. We don't want to be too upset. We're guarding ourselves. Our subconscious mind is protecting us. So how can we overcome this hesitation and block to really feel it without feeling bad about feeling it?
Yeah, so basically feeling any circumstances happening, any situation, something is um, painful, you're feeling it. But then you're feeling deeper into it because that circumstances or that situation is gone, it's not there, but you still hold on to, and then you still feel it. So then something this is in our control. Do we have to hold on afterward when the circumstances is happened or that situation is gone? So do
Yeah,
we have to feel the feeling? So that's where is a self-awareness. That's why we highlighted feeling into the feeling. So, and we have 100% control on this. We don't know how to know to feel the deeper into the situation, which is holding us back all the time.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's where we're gonna go later on. We're gonna go through all these techniques to how to separate yourself from feeling the situation which is not happening right now. So when the circumstances or situation come to you, you face it, but we take it to the heart and we feel it. And why we feel this? Because it comes from our childhood. We've been told, we've been trained to feel it. So that's why we feel it. We've been trained. We've been doing this from very young age.
we're masters of it.
Yeah. So now it's like we have to take a control and know to feel into the feeling and face the reality, face the circumstances and situation when come to you, and just like we going to share some tools and techniques how to face the reality and not to hold on and not to suppress into our heart, not to take that pain inside.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I sometimes think what happens is that this suppression is massive when we suppress things. We suppress it again automatically out of protection, out of automation. We're automatic, what's the word, autopilot that we can be on sometimes. It just
Yeah.
does it for us, and we just like a bit like dusting stuff under the rug, just the crap under the rug, pretend it's not there. But with the period of time you keep doing that, that's going to be a very lumpy rug. And if we're not consistently clearing that out and attending to that stuff, and we just think we're going to hide it away, it's going to be a matter of
Yeah.
time before we have to face it. And it's a worse situation than dealing with it as it comes up.
Yeah, I mean, two people living together, they're not going to always like, get on with each other. If something happened, you don't take it emotionally or personally. You just just deal with it and just let it go, because people changes, their mood changes. From morning they're different, and afternoon and evening, as the day goes by, their mood changes. But if their action affecting you emotionally, you're holding on to their action, maybe they're going through some hard time. So that's, but we how to detach with each other, in a relationship. It's not just a husband-wife relationship. It could be relationship with your coworker, or like a mom at school run, just outside the school, because people comes with a different mood and different feelings. So just protect yourself, and how to protect, we're going to share that.
Awesome. So then we've also got I think I've got a typo here, but I meant how has having raised awareness where is also including your part to play. So what's your part to play in relationships? And sometimes for me, I've put this in here because self-awareness is about, we're always looking at what other people are doing or how other people have made us feel, but we sometimes don't look at what are we doing. And I think self-awareness is a big part of taking some responsibility. And not, this is again a very fine line here. People sometimes go through this process of, first of all, we blame the world, then we start learning about self-development and self-awareness, and then we take responsibility. But the thin line being, we start blaming ourselves, and it's not for blaming yourselves, but sometimes we will go through a process. I've been there myself. First of all, I blamed others. When I went through my breakup with my ex, I blamed him totally. He's the one who didn't see it through. He's the one who's like this and that. He let me down, this, that, the other. Then I started doing my personal development, my coaching. I got a coach. And then they were just like, well, we're actually responsible for circumstances in our life. And I thought, okay, so what did I do? Oh, maybe I pushed him away. Maybe I got him confused. Maybe I could have done something better. Maybe I wasn't up to scratch. Maybe I'm not worthy to be with. And I went through this phase where I blamed myself for the problems. So when we say take apart, it's not about taking responsibility, full responsibility and blame, but it's just like, okay, maybe there's a part of me. The reality was, for my situation, and I'm sharing this here now because I feel like it may help people in the group today. There was a part where I realized, actually, I'm the one who's maybe a bit too gullible and naive in thinking in these overly romantic thoughts that I've had from day one, from watching too much Disney and Bollywood. I was a bit more fantasizing all the time that once you're with somebody, it's one person for life and we live and die together. Like, what do you mean you're not going to be with me now? I was like really confused, but I'm the one who chose to have all these grand beliefs. So I didn't want to blame myself, but I just wanted to acknowledge it and have the awareness that actually part of my upbringing has made me have this impression of how relationships should be. And maybe me going through a breakup is teaching me that it's not always going to be hunky-dory. That's normal. And do I need to feel so bad about it? Like, I cried for years after that breakup, and I didn't ever think I'd move forward in life or find anyone else. But I want you to be very careful about this bit about where I say take responsibility and what's your part to play, not necessarily blame yourself. But also I want to talk a little bit more about knowing what your current reality is versus your desired reality. Hopefully Manny will share her own little nuggets here as well. And it helps us to look at where are our limitations or our limiting beliefs, and actually where are our opportunities and what we can do. Because once I realized with my reflection and my self-awareness that actually my upbringing has made me have these like elaborate beliefs, what I can do is maybe tone that down a bit and be a bit more realistic with my expectations. And then I realized I was limiting myself in thinking I can only be with one person for my whole life. Why do I have to limit myself? And then my opportunities being, actually, why don't you stop having your guard up so much and be a bit more relaxed when you're dating people, that the first person you speak to isn't the person you have to tie the knot with forever. It's okay if that conversation doesn't lead to dating. So I guess, Manny, what's your thoughts on these other points I've added here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with start with the having raised awareness of your part to play. Yeah, so basically we are two different souls and we are here to learn to connect with each other.
Like that.
So going through the conflicts is a part of our journey. But at that time, I didn't know this. I wanted my life to be perfect and have no problem. But then later on, I discovered that was the life is a journey, and I meant to be learning all this. So that's why all these challenges were coming.
Like that.
So I felt I am like my body is very old. No, my soul is old, but into modern new body. So my soul born again on this earth to just explore and discover. So that's why
So this
we
is a
are.
really deep self-awareness, isn't it? This is where we go very
Yes,
deep with that
yeah.
self-awareness of our part to play in the universe, in the world, not just in our relationships.
And we don't have to be similar. We have to be different. So
Yeah.
the you need to have some similarities, but you need to be different from each other in order to balance your life. Think about if you're both doing the same thing, then who's going to do the things you don't know? So who's
I
going
love
to?
this point that you've made, just to go off on a bit of a tangent. You know, when I watch these like dating shows and reality programs, and
Yeah,
people are saying, oh, well, I want somebody who's like me. And I'm like, that doesn't even fully make sense, because actually somebody who's different to you may bring more to the table for you to expand and increase what you're about, rather than staying in the same bubble of things you already do anyways. And I totally agree, you need some similarities, but welcome the differences, because that's
yeah,
a really that can be a great thing to open
yeah,
yourself
that,
up for. Like that's another, I'm actually glad you pointed that out. Relationship wise, me being a massive Bollywood fan, I always thought I wanted a person who's really into Bollywood films, who watches them, who loves the Bollywood music the way I do. Now, for those of you who don't know this, but Rish, who I'm married to now, and we're coming, you know, we're going to be 7 years married this year. I don't know where that time's gone, but literally, he couldn't even speak Punjabi that well when I met him. And I thought, for a Punjabi guy and an Indian guy, and I kept thinking, yeah, an Indian guy will be great to be with because we'll have so much more in common. He didn't have a clue about some religious stuff. He didn't have a clue about the Indian language. And I'm there like talking in Hindi or Punjabi at times, and he doesn't have a clue what I'm sometimes saying. And I'm like, I never thought I'd be with somebody like this, but my limiting belief was that I'll only be happy with somebody who's like that. But the fact that he's not like that, he's actually opened up so many other things to me, because he listens to like hip hop and rap, and opened up my mind to different types of music. I mean, I used to listen to it a bit before, but I'm a bit more aware now, and I'm enjoying different things. And I've brought a different element to him because he started watching films with me and enjoying Bollywood music and a little bit more than he used to. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I used to, that was a limiting belief I had, that they had to be so much like me, but they don't have to be. But sorry,
yeah.
you was in a bit of a flow, but what else was you adding to that, Manny?
Yeah, that's brilliant. You explained, you given your personal example to understand. So yeah, so basically it's okay to be different from each other, because your soul going to explore something you don't know, and your partner's soul also looking to explore something your partner doesn't know. So welcome the, as you just mentioned the dissimilarities,
Yeah.
and also accept each other the way you both are. And I think that what is missing out is holding on and not speaking up. That's another thing is missing out. And when the couple, when they speak up, they always hold on to first. When it gets really overflow, then just the blast happen. But I think
Yeah.
speaking up with the right tone
Yeah.
and the right feeling. So speaking up, feeling that this is my right to share, that this doesn't work with me, but not feeling frustrated at the same time. That's where the argument or relationship issue starts, because when you speak up like you're frustrated at the same time, it's not a good way to speak up in a relationship. So that's why we have all the grounding, meditation, all these healing energy technique to release that
Mm.
frustration, not releasing on your partner. What happens then? We are creating this energy and we're giving to another person, which is also we are creating a bad karma at the same time.
Wow. They're so
Yeah.
profound. That is, it's so true. I even went back to, like, because I've been doing a lot of like work around narcissism and watching narcissistic videos and healing from narcissism, and maybe elements of narcissism I might have experienced in my family or in other relationships or at work. It's so interesting. When I went through my journey of healing, I remember there was a part when I was quite defensive in life, and I'd always be a bit blunt and harsh with how I'd answer people back at times. And honestly, I look back now and I realize actually that could have been done in a more neutral way, from a loving space rather than a defensive space. Because sometimes we can just be like, can you just be quiet? I just don't want to hear what you got to say. And then it's like we just lashed out. Whereas it could be just like, right now, I don't want to speak about this thing. Can we just talk about this another time? Or can you just give me a bit of space so I can just get a bit more connected with myself? Sometimes just saying things in a diplomatic and respectful way, we can still say what needs to be said without doing it in a lashing out or aggressive or harsh way. I've noticed that Sammy's got a hand up. So yeah, go for it, Hammy. Sammy, what would you like to share, please?
I was actually just going to say that on narcissistic behaviors, etc. Red Table Talks, which is free on
yeah, we've literally
on
just watched one in my
Facebook.
Positive Vibes group today. Yeah, Gemma shared it.
Yeah, so I watched it just this morning, and it was such a
Awesome.
beautiful explanation and great for self-awareness. So I just thought I'd share in case anyone wanted, because it's another free thing to be able to tap into.
Absolutely. I'll see if I don't know if Gemma or yourself are able to. Could you maybe share the link for it in the chat, if possible, for anybody who's not seen it? I know I did share it in the Positive Vibes group, so I know most of the ladies here are in my Positive Vibes group who would have seen the link.
I can do that if you want. I can do that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm on
you,
my
Gemma.
iPad, so I haven't got Facebook on it.
That's okay. No worries. Awesome.
Another
But
thing,
yeah, literally we watched that today. I think there's no mistake that had to be watched today. Like, Gemma, you're just so intuitive to know to share that with us today.
okay, another thing I want to add, it's good to speak up with the patient, but also how do you listen when your partner wants to speak up? That's another
I
point.
love that.
Do we take personally, or do we just respect his views or like your partner's views? So that's another thing. We want to say with the frustration what we want to say, but then if our partner wants to say something or explain, we don't want to listen. We take it too personally, and we think he's telling us you're not good enough. You know, you're not
It's
doing
like being
this.
in our own little bubble, isn't it?
Yeah,
I just want to blast out on you, but I don't really care what you've got to say.
yeah,
so interesting.
So basically giving your partner a chance to speak up is also helping them to release the frustration. So if you care about your frustration, you should care about your partner's frustration. What's happening? You're letting go the frustration energy, and you're becoming more closer to each other's soul, and that's where we heal the love, and that's how we heal the heart, giving each other opportunity to listen, because it's and speak up, because it's very important for everybody to speak up. And I mean, we're all women here, but men find it very difficult to speak up. So my husband is very, very quiet, and he liked to always hold on to. So, you know, I had to figure out how to actually make him speak up and share. So he was holding on so much, and he looked more frustrated and angry. And so when we started to release and explain and share and listen, that energy, you know, was killing our relationship, it started to release, and we started to become more close to each other.
I love that. It's so true. And I think it's true when we also, if we are pouring out our feelings and thoughts or our resentments and frustrations, they're absorbing it.
Yeah.
So where are they going to release it if they don't release it with us? So yeah, I really love that. Awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit more about these elements as we go into the other slides as well. But if you have any other thoughts or questions on this, pop it in the chat box, and we're happy to discuss it in a little bit more detail if you guys like. So the next thing then we wanted to talk about was, once we have this self-awareness, once we know where we're at, we know our current reality and where's our desired reality, where do we want to be, where are we right now, what's the gap, and how can we bridge this gap to get to that other side? One amazing way to do this is start goal setting, even if it's little goals in the way, or whether it's that big goal of that full end desired result. So maybe I'm single right now, I want to be in a fulfilled relationship. Maybe it's that I'm in a bit of a broken communication in my relationship right now and I want to have effective communication, or I want deeper connection with myself, or maybe your goal is that you want deeper connection with the person you're with. So effective goal setting is important. Listing alternative options and how to evaluate these options. And out of the options, then when we've evaluated them, I would say look at what is it out of what you say you're going to do, what you could do, what is it that you're more likely to do and what you're least likely to do, and maybe just start off with the more likely ones to start with, just so there is something you can at least start off with, because it might be that you try and do something that you know that you're not really going to do, and then you don't do it, and then you kind of get disheartened or a bit you know, off the mark with yourself, and you don't go back on the track. So setting SMART goals as well. Of those of you who don't know what this is that it has to be specific, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be achievable, it needs to be realistic, and it needs to be timely. So we can go into a bit more detail of that if you need, but I'm guessing here most of you already know that, but just pop it in the chat box if you want us to expand on that. But I'd like to know Manny's thoughts now on goal setting and how she can help the group today with exploring alternative options. And I want us to actually spend a little bit of time, if we can, for a couple of minutes, write down right now whilst we're discussing options for yourself as we talk as well, because I'm pretty sure your brain's firing off with things right now. So make sure you're writing this all down.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to setting goals, we should think about two different parts. We need an inner work and we need an outer work. So I'm manifestation guide, so I really work on my inner side, what's going on within me, because that's how I'm creating my reality. So when you think about coaching is all about grow smart, all the outer work. We need those actions, but what you're doing, how you grounding, how you deepening your soul, how you feel connected with the universe. So I think we need a daily goals to connect our soul, our body, and our emotions, our mind with the universe. So
Yeah.
that's one side. And then we also need to take action. We can't just focus on law of attractions, just gonna do things, everything for us. So I believe in law of attraction. I create vision, but I also take action at the same time. So I work both ways. So I start my morning with the inner goals, with the what my soul, mind wants. Then I slowly move into actions, daily actions.
So you'd strongly recommend connecting with that inner self and the soul requirements, so that you know how to plan your day out accordingly.
Yeah, because if you don't work on your inner self, then you they say you disconnect with the universe, and that's where the frustrations and anger and loneliness is all about, the sign of disconnection. So that's why these energy attack on you, because you didn't ground yourself in the morning, and you didn't do the inner work. Where are the self-love affirmations, where is the gratitude, all these things needs to be done. So these are goals. Was like my morning goal is I want to listen to my breath, and also the noise outside the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like to deep connect with myself. Then I come downstairs, have shower, and do my morning prayer. So and then I also do the breathing exercise afterwards. Then I spend some time doing yoga. I think we didn't mention here, I was a yoga
Yes.
therapist, and now it's my personal practice. I don't really share. I used to run a yoga, meditation, and mindfulness center. But eventually, then later on, I moved on to online manifestation and coaching side. So yeah, so for me, it's very important to set some goals for your inner work, and then also take action, but don't set too many goals to take action.
Yeah, I think it quite
You can
creates
achieve.
overwhelm, doesn't it? You can get
Yes.
overwhelmed,
Yeah.
overstretched, and then don't do anything, because what I've learned in behavioral economics is it's cognitive overload, because our brain,
Yeah.
just the way human brain and human nature is, that that's just too much to do. I don't know where to start. I'm not going to do any of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you set goals, okay, I'm going to lose weight, I'm not going to eat this, I'm going to just have like salad, I'm going to just have like green smoothie, and I'm just going to do like, 30 minutes exercise, and then I'm going to do the whole house cleaning, my workshop, then it's too much. Maybe just focusing one thing, okay, I'm going to add green smoothie today, okay?
It's
And I'm
interesting,
also
just even hearing you say that list, it feels tiring just saying it or hearing it.
saying,
So imagine
yeah,
how
yeah,
tiring you feel doing it. It puts a person off straight away. So start small, I guess, is the main point here.
yeah,
Start
maybe
small,
just
start simple.
yeah, about 3 to 5 points, 3 to 5 small goals you'll be able to achieve today, like that day. But then also you need a slightly bigger goal. So you need two different planners. You need a vision, basically. You need a vision board where you want to get in 1 year, okay? And where you want to get in 10 years. So that's your vision. So you need to create something so you can focus. Maybe I usually like in my kitchen. And then I have a weekly planner. And then I have a daily planner. But I don't overwhelm it. I don't fill it. They're just, you can easily read it. Because I know my daily tasks
Yeah.
anyway. I'm gonna, usually, your housework a little bit, if you have a kids, all these things. But if I could finish about 2 to 3 tasks a day, that's like a win for me. Yes.
I love that. I think what's good is what you said about as well about having the different vision boards. I actually spoke to somebody last year who encouraged me to have a monthly vision board as well, a smaller one. So as I'm ticking off things and I'm changing stuff around on my board, that okay, I've achieved this month. This is what I still need to work on. It helps me keep on track with the things that are still my focus. So if there is anything that falls into the next month, it's not that I need to beat myself up over it. It's just that I can give it a bit more attention, that okay, this wasn't done last month, but I'd really need to put a bit more effort or energy towards this. I also love what you said about connecting with your soul and then connecting with the universe through the soul with that meditation in the morning, because this is where it comes back to the crux of the main work you and me do around manifestation. How do you manifest connection in the world? Let's start from being vibrated at a connected space and being connected with ourselves and the universe. So even if you are single and you're not with anybody and you think, well, how can I vibrate being in a relationship? I would say it starts with build that relationship with yourself. And once you have a good relationship with yourself, energetically you're echoing out that. So you will manifest and attract into your life exactly what you are and what your beliefs are. So having those thoughts, beliefs and energies, you can then attract it easier, is how I feel and what did actually happen in my life.
Yeah, another thing, like, you start your day with meditation, gratitude, affirmation, and that's how you end your day. So you need that half an hour or 15 minutes before you go to sleep, because you need to completely let go. It's very important to ground yourself before you go to bed and wake up, because whatever you're going to do the last hour of the day, that's going to help all night, help to manifest all night. Because evening time, when it's night, it looks dark, but that's the healing time. That's when the healing starts. It's when we watch those horror film, I don't really watch, but it looks dark, it's scary, but that's actually when the healing, the universe is trying to heal you, when you sleep through your dreams. And so very, very important to relax yourself, ground yourself before you go to sleep.
Yeah, so morning routine, evening routine. Those of you who've been in other workshops will know what half on and on about this. And I'm glad, Manny, you've echoed exactly what I share with others. It's so important. Morning routine sets you up for the day. Nighttime routine sets you up with your healing and your learnings and your, inner intuition guiding and all of that through the night, as your brain's still processing things and your soul and your subconscious mind is. So yeah, absolutely a vital point.
Another thing I want to add here, you have the vision board, but if it doesn't look like you moving towards that vision, don't get frustrated. Because maybe your purpose is different and you're still searching your purpose. So when you really get clear with your purpose, then you move, what your clear vision is. But create your vision board the way you feel right now. And don't worry if you have to change it, because you're learning and growing.
that reminds me of what you said a little bit before about the detachment in a relationship, if you're in a relationship, and how to detach from feelings and certain things. And it's interesting because we detach in order to be more attached. We're detaching in order to have more connection. And I think this is something that's so true for even this example of vision boards. You be detached to it in order to be connected to what you're doing through the vision board, because being attached to everything that's on your vision board is actually not the right energy. Just getting it out there, whether it's on paper, whether it's on a vision board, is starting the process and the energy to be the momentum for the things you want to create, but not overly like you said, don't be frustrated, because it might be just that goalposts have to be shifted or moved, or you may be stretching yourself a bit too much. Like if somebody said, that's it, I'm going to be in a relationship from tomorrow, it's maybe a little bit unrealistic as well. So that's why the goal needs to be smart. What's realistic, and sometimes what you think is realistic for you may not be realistic from the universe. So just be a bit fluid and flexible with that side of it, I guess.
Yeah, so the vision board really helped me when I started my journey of exploring my life. But now it's been like a year since I stopped doing it, because I think it's automatically growing, and I allow universe to, you know, do it now, because I think universe is using me rather than I'm trying to push. But there was a time I was pushing myself and I was working hard, but now, you know, it's my time. Okay, let universe use me, let universe use me. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm the same. I get that. So I did see that Nadia did ask a valid question about what do I mean by options, and I was typing an answer in there because I was multitasking. It didn't type out the best way, but hopefully you got the gist. So when we're listing out alternative options, so like being single, when I was single, my options were, right, I can actively look for somebody now, or I can choose to just enjoy my single life. That was an option. Then on the back of that, if my option was to be like, okay, out of these two options, I want to enjoy my single life, then it's about what things can I do to enjoy single life, what can I make the most of. But if you choose that, well, an option for me is to look for relationships and look for a partner, then you start thinking about options around that. Well, how can I do this? What's the best ways to do it? There's dating sites, there's matrimonial sites. Sometimes if you're religious, the religious places will have people on their lists, like almost like a matchmaking book of potentials looking for someone. Again, are you looking for just a dating partner, or are you looking for marriage? They're all options that you need to just write down and think, well, this is my different options. And sometimes just writing them all down, even if it's something you think, I wouldn't even do this, you might look at the option and be like, actually, I hadn't considered this, but now I'm reading it, maybe this is something I've not thought about, but I could do this. So it's just about putting different options in front of yourself. I will say, when you do this kind of work, it is effective, more effective to do it with a coach, because when you've got somebody to bounce ideas and thoughts off, they can help you assess options you hadn't even considered. Because sometimes when we're in our own little worlds, we can't see the wood for the trees. So we only can see limited options. But when somebody else comes in the mix and can sometimes open up our mind a bit, it'll show you a few new options that you hadn't considered, and they may be able to help you find a new way forward that you hadn't considered before. So that's what I meant by that. But on that note, before I move on, with regards to the self-awareness and this goal setting and way forwards, I'd like for you guys to share your thoughts or questions or just any feedback on the back of this topic before I move on. So if anybody would like to share their thoughts. And I know that we've just had a comment come through as well. Nadia's just asked as well, Manny and Simon, when you talk about detaching and attaching everything on my vision board, I want to attach to at some point. So what part should we detach from? Really good question. Do you have any thoughts on that, Manny?
Yeah, so you go the vision board and you use vision board as a motivation only. Okay, so that is detachment. If that vision board making you frustrated, or like making you to compare with other people, or disappointing you,
throw it away.
Yes, that's attachment. So it's just a motivation. Yes, you know, let's do it.
It
You
needs
know,
to be an
that's
effective tool. This is why when I do my coaching as well, I'll give people the option that they can have a vision board, but only if it's going to be effective for them. Because if it's going to be something that's going to stress them out, that's not an effective tool. So then if it's not working, but what I guess what Nadia's maybe asking a little bit about here as well is you want to attach from certain things that are on the board. What I'd actually say is, this is going to be a bit controversial. We shouldn't be looking for attachment with anything, because even when we think about solid things like the table that we've got in front of us right now, I've got this table, and I remember science teaching me this isn't solid, it's very high vibrating particles. Even the particles that are making this connected table that looks solid to me, like a brick wall, yeah, these ain't hard, they're particles that have got gaps between them. If you really went with a microscope deep, nothing is attached. Even the cells of our body that makes our body. So maybe don't seek attachment from anything, just seek that you want some form of fulfillment through the things that are on your vision board. Fulfillment and attachment are two different things, and sometimes, as the Buddha teaches us, having the attachments is what can be our downfall, where we get attached to things and it doesn't serve us, and that's where we get hurt and we create hurt in our lives, but we've chose to do that. So Mani, you were saying something else there, sorry to cut you.
Yeah, so I'm going to add on a little bit here. So attachment is a desire, but not having attachment is also desire. So I think it's okay to just be gentle with yourself. Okay, so just think about, you don't want to like judge yourself all the time. I don't want to have this. All you don't want to have is not feel the pain within yourself. Just don't take other people's emotion too seriously. This is your life. You just want to explore, learn, and just live, you know, just let your life grow. Yeah, so doesn't matter, just everything is doing, it should be a game and fun. You know, life is a game, and just make it game. You know, that's what I would say.
I like that. Cool. Anybody else want to maybe unmute themselves and share some thoughts and ideas with us? A few moments.
I just say I love it, what you're saying. Yeah, just having fun with it, and like it's just making me feel free already, you know. Just
you are a free soul, that's why you need to continue to embrace that freeness.
Yeah, so just like think life is a game, you know, I'm here going to explore, you know, and my soul going to learn, you know, more, and then we just gonna move on. Everything is moving around us. Why I hold on to something? Why I wanna, you know, that's how I like singing. Even, you know, my husband, my kids, they laugh, and when I'm cooking, I'm like always dancing, you know. So that's what I do, you know. So that's when you fall in love with life, you're going to let go all the desire. So there's no attachment, there's no detachment. Okay, there's no negative, there's no positive. It's all fun.
It's like neutral.
All yes.
I love that, because you know, something I wasn't going to talk about today, but I feel like that sparked a new thing in my mind. And I think, again, there's no mistake that there's only women here. This event was open to men and women, but we've attracted the women here. There's this element of female energy and feminine energy, which is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be just laughing, dancing, singing, enjoying. That is feminine energy. And sometimes we get so much wrapped in this man-made world that we put up on these masculine elements into our life, that things need to be structured and rigid and we need to follow this form and pattern. But actually just throwing it out the window and thinking, oh, well, do you know what? Doesn't matter. That can be so liberating, because it's us attaching with our feminine source energy and really getting us again fully connected in a different way with ourselves and the universe, and then one another, like how now we're getting this connection with one another.
Yeah, but so the idea we shared about, like, you know, daily planner, weekly planner, monthly vision, you know, yearly vision, or big vision. So that's just something to push us forward. But then there's going to be a flow eventually. When you don't have to push it, you're going to just sing and swing and love and laugh. You know, that's how it's going to be eventually, you know.
So it's almost like have some things in place first just to get the momentum going, and then you can even start letting go and shedding that in itself. Because I think it also goes to a point where it becomes natural, part of your routine, to set goals without even actively going out your way to set it. But I think the starting point, again, we're talking about option and a way forward when we have self-awareness. Start by these tips, but don't take them so seriously or rigidly. Be easy on yourself, be gentle on yourself along the whole journey and the process.
yeah, some days, used to, when I don't achieve my, when I, fail to achieve my goals, daily goals, I would just have a really good coffee and say, don't worry, like I just talk to myself, that's
I did
fine,
that
you had a day
today.
off today, just forgive yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that.
Forgive
I was just
yourself
like, the
as much
universe
as
is
you
doing
can,
whatever it
because
needs to do.
nobody, yeah, definitely. So nobody's going to approve you, nobody's going to help you, nobody's going to forgive you. Just you are your own baby and you're your own mother, so there's an inner child within
I love that
yourself,
one.
and there's a big mind over you. So think about, big mind is your, like, parent, and this inner child you're healing through your mind all the time.
I love that
That's
one.
that's all gonna be in my book. The book
Oh,
should be
look, we have got a gent joining us now. Rish has joined on.
And
Bless him.
another thing is, like, one step at a time, you're gonna work on like different stages in your life, and that's all is gonna come in the book. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm just looking at the time, and for the purpose of time, I'm just moving on, and hopefully in the Q&A section, we will talk a little bit more if anybody wants. But it's time for like action now that we've thought about where's our self-awareness, where's our current reality, where's our desired reality, what are our options, what are our mini goals we can do. We need to talk about taking action. And so what I'd like you guys to share is, and you don't have to share all your action steps, but what one action are you guys going to take away from what you've learned and written down and heard so far? What action are you going to take? Maybe share it by unmuting yourself or share it in the chat box. And I'd love to hear some action points, because as you share these action points, other people who are on the call right now will watch it back as a replay. They may take a golden nugget away for something they hadn't considered. So over to you guys. And Manny, maybe you want to start us off with an action you're going to take, and then I'll also add an action that I'm going to take.
Yeah, sorry, doorbell was ringing, that's why I muted. Yeah,
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so my action is going to be today, I'm going to hug myself, and I'm going to love myself even more, and I'm going to be grateful of being a part of this workshop. So I will be doing a more meditation and visualization today to have more workshop like this, so I know the universe making me to do, serve now, because I have transformed, like I'm still transforming. So yeah, so that's my action is I'm going to love myself even more.
Love it, love it. My action step is that I'm definitely going to do that, the grounded soul connection that I aim to do in the mornings. I'm also going to do that when I go to bed, and making sure I have deeply got myself, at least I'm going to give myself 20 to 30 minutes to really relax before I go to sleep, because I think I'll wait until I'm so tired and then I just jump in bed and I don't have a full proper nighttime routine. So my action step is, for today especially, I am going to make sure I take a little bit more tender care for myself for my sleep routine, just to get myself back into a balanced space with my sleeping. So over to you guys. Who else would like to share? I'm just going to check. I've got some chat lighting up here. Nadia's put having the best possible relationship with myself in every way, so I can attract the right guy. I love that. And making more effort with morning and evening routine. So what specific action step, Nadia? Share something that you're going to do differently or incorporate or do more of. Welcome, first of all. I didn't get to say hello to you before, but welcome. Good to see you.
Sorry, I was a bit delayed. I always try and frantically find the link and then email it to myself, and then my Wi-Fi doesn't have the email there, so I always end up frantically joining and thinking, oh, I'm gonna creep in and hope someone doesn't see me after.
I'm the one who has to admit people in, so I see your name at the top, love.
I know. More specifically, I think that I have become more aware of the need for the routine. But some days I just think, oh, I'm just going to jump out of bed, and I don't necessarily switch to my app. I use the Genius app quite a lot, which is Jay Shetty's app that I've discovered recently, and it's fantastic for specific things. So if there's a certain type of meditation that I want to focus on that day or that week, it just, I don't know what happens, but whenever I play it, it's so relevant to something that's going on. It's like kind of magic. But I think there's some days that I don't do it and I just miss it, and I think I need to stop doing that. And my affirmations, I've stopped really the routine I had when I haven't been at work for the past few months. So once I get back into a work routine, I need to make sure I set my alarm for those 10 minutes and just switch it on, because I'd always put it on when I was doing my hair and makeup in the morning, and I've not done that for 4 months. So having not worked in that period of time, that's where the routine was lost. So making more of an effort with switching the affirmations on from the 2 videos that I have starred, which are yours, Suman, from way back, and they're the 2 that I always used to alternate between. And making more of an effort not to miss. In the evening, I'm quite good at switching it on, but in the morning, not so much recently. So making more of an effort with that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
I'm going to add a little bit here. Do you know your self-talk? You know, the thought goes in your head is your affirmation. Okay. So you need to think, you know, when you thinking, okay. And if that's negative, then you're talking negative, you know, like I'm talking about negative, positive here, because we need that clarity. So how do you talk to yourself when you're driving the car, having a shower, doing your hair, do your makeup? And that's your affirmation. Sometimes you don't have a time for a video, don't worry, okay? But just keep talking to yourself.
I love that.
Keep reminding yourself. And that's your real affirmation is always happening in your head.
Yeah, I had
like on a daily.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, so on a daily basis, Money, it's so easy to just, your mind just races, doesn't it? You're thinking, oh, the car's in the way, I'm late, oh, I'm not going to get to this place on time, I'm annoyed at this person, and you forget completely. It's so hard to stay in that state more.
It's okay to be, you know, in a rush. It's okay to be in a rush, but you're not punishing yourself. That's why you need to be detached or separate yourself. Okay, you know, your car, you know, someone else, your parked the car, or you can't find your makeup brush, but you're not punishing yourself. And that's affirmation. I want it from you guys.
Yeah, what I was going to say was just to add to all of that. I'm just writing that one down, Money. Don't punish yourself. I did an interview yesterday with Zohib on his Zoe show. So if anybody wants to see that, I've shared the link on my Facebook, and I did share the link in my Positive Vibes group as well. In that interview, somebody was talking about morning routine then as well, and I talked about, even if you're not going to spend separate time to be like, I'm going to stand and do my affirmations now, whilst you're brushing your teeth, literally, and I laughed about it in the interview. I said, brush your teeth and think to yourself, I am wonderful, I am deserved, I am amazing, I'm going to have an amazing day today. Brush your teeth and say, it doesn't have to be separate to what you're already doing. Maybe incorporate it into what you're already doing as a starting point. And I think that can be something that can really help. And again, if you miss it and you didn't do, like, you wanted to watch your video or you didn't have chance, don't beat yourself up over it, what Manny's just said. So yeah, I did just want to quickly add that Kulvinder's just added, so Kully, welcome, it's great to see you here. Kully's just added that I'm going to work more on my inner soul, meditate regularly, and set up a daily/weekly planner. So that's amazing. But again, with that, I'd say maybe just to do one of those things to start with and then do the second thing. Like, as long as it doesn't overwhelm you with all the things you want to do, pace yourself with it. But I think that for a weekly goal would be great. If by Sunday, from now we're on Thursday, you've got 3-4 days in between now. By Sunday, if you did all of those things, awesome, you're off to a flying start. So thank you so much for sharing that. Any other thoughts, or anybody else want to share any ideas with us or their action steps?
Yeah, another thing is for taking action. Remember, you're always acting, okay? You're always doing something. You're taking actions, okay? So don't, like, to me, I just want you to, you know, think there's no pressure for anything. Your life is gonna flow anyway. You are flowing. You wake up in the morning, you do your daily, the things you do every day. So don't feel overwhelmed taking action after this workshop. More forgiving yourself, loving yourself is the key. And one thing, if you learn to love yourself, if you give yourself a warm hug, everybody in your house is going to come for a warm hug from you. Okay, so you need to create that energy within yourself. So someone like my cousin came other day and she said, you know, you're on a bare feet on like tiles. I said, but I'm just warm. She said, do you sweat? I said, no, I don't sweat. Like, I never have sweaty hand, but I got warm feet, I got warm body, I got warm hand. That's all I am. I'm warm, you know, because I love give myself a warm hug and I create that energy within me. So yeah,
You know,
try.
Rishi's online at the moment. I bet you he's laughing right now because my feet are always like ice blocks. And maybe
Really?
that's a sign that I'm not giving myself enough hugs. So I love that what Gemma's just put on here. And I could see Gemma was giving herself a hug as you were saying this. And I was giving myself a mental hug as you were saying it. But Gemma's put forgiving my past and forgiving myself, forgiving everything and just being in the moment and enjoying life. And that's so powerful, Gemma. Like, even as you was hugging yourself, and I was imagining myself hugging myself and really just hugging myself and be like, it's okay. I forgive you for things that you haven't done, that you could have done better. And it's okay. Now that you know and you've got the awareness, you can work on it tomorrow. Don't cry about it. It's okay. So I think, yeah, being our own parent and being our own baby. I loved what you said there, Manny. I wrote that one down as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
So I'm just going to quickly move on now, because again, I'm just looking at the time and I know I can sit, so people like me can just sit here day and night talking about this stuff because I love it. But, you know, I know that you guys have all got stuff to do and crack on with. So I'm going to just move forward. And as for the hugging, guess what? The image has popped up. Self-love, increasing our self-love. And we've already been talking about that already.
Yeah. I think we covered this already. You know, just let your soul flow, your body flow, you know, just feel warm, you know, not cold, not hot. Feel warm within yourself as much as you can.
So that's great, Manny. As I've got here, what is even self-love? So somebody in the room may be feeling like we don't actually know what self-love is. So I'd like, Manny, first of all, I'm going to ask you in a moment to share what you would actually say is self-love. And then I want to share the difference between what self-care is. And so sometimes, and even yesterday's interview, it was like, well, that can be a bit selfish. How is it different to being selfish? And on the back of that, it normally means that we sometimes feel guilty around being giving ourselves attention, taking time out for our self-care and self-love. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to reduce or release the guilt around it. So before I move on to the other bullet points, Manny, your thoughts on these key areas?
Okay, everybody gonna have their different opinion. For me, self-love is when there's a balance between universal energy and the worldly energy. You know, the love between your inner soul and the world, your, you know, action you take outside. So if you're self-loved, like when you love yourself, you should feel connected with the universe and also, you know, accepted by the world, or accept the world the way world is. Have that power rather than judging or running away or hiding away, you know. So kind of this balance is okay. People always going to be different and reacting differently with you, but that's not your problem. You need to rise above this. Okay, so when you learn to rise above this and feel have a universal connection and you're united with them, and that's self-love for me.
I love that. For me, when I was explaining this, even in the interviews I've recently done, self-love is something that's a daily practice. How is it different to self-care? Self-care might be when when we go and do something like pampering ourselves, like soaking our feet or having a bath soak. We give ourselves a hair treatment or wear a face pack. That could be self-care. But you're not going to do that maybe every single day. Self-love is something you do every single day. The way we brush our teeth every day, the way we just have awareness and alertness. Self-love needs to be a constant everyday action. And it's what Manny's already talked about and what we spoke about in today's session, where you're gentle with yourself, where you're kind to yourself, where you're accepting of yourself, and where you're forgiving of yourself. So every single thing that's already been touched upon. And the way I see it is when we love others, self-love is exactly the same thing and doing it for ourselves, because we're very easy to do it for other people. to love our parents, to love our partners, to love our children, to love our friends, you know, but we sometimes don't give ourselves that same attention, and we don't be kind enough or gentle enough to ourselves. And like you've said, Manny, we're our own child. When we talk about inner child, and I've done inner child work with clients as well, where I'll be like, imagine that it's a younger version of you is sitting in front of you. First of all, tell me all the things you say to yourself when people say they're not worthy, or they don't feel like they deserve something, or they feel really fat, ugly, they feel horrible, they feel unsuccessful. And then I'll be like, put a child version of you in front of you now and say all these things to that child. Tell them that they're fat, ugly, unworthy. They're like, no way, I can't do that. And it's like, well, you can't do it to somebody else, but you're doing that to yourself. So for me, self-love is be kind even in your self-talk, the way you view yourself, your image of yourself, the way you speak to yourself in your heart when you're on your own. That's what self-love is for me. Why it's not selfish, because we need to look after ourselves in order to be in a good place to serve others and to serve ourselves better and to serve our relationships better. So I don't know how anybody calls it selfishness. Selfishness is when you're doing something for yourself and it's hurting others. Self-love is when you're loving yourself and it's not causing any harm or hurt to anybody. So that's something I just wanted to share.
Yes. So I want to add something else here.
Go for
so
it.
self-love is a satisfaction, and satisfaction from what you already have. So when you feel satisfied within your life and start practicing gratitude, it improves your self-love. Okay, then you're creating this energy around you, and then your life start to grow even more. And the big vision you saw, you know, after 10 years is going to turn into reality anyway. So yeah, so make sure you focus on satisfaction. We always going to have the positive side anyway. So when you start counting your blessings, there will be many blessings. The first thing, you have this body, you can see, you can hear, you can move your legs, arms, you know. That's when you start counting yourself, like what's my blessing is, your self-love rise, because you start counting your cells, your bones, you know, how blood flows in your body. And this is so within you, looking through your eyes and trying to experience. And then you're given that really big tool called mind. You can reshape, you can transform the way you want, and then you can create your life, you can create your reality. So to me, just count your blessing, your self-love rise.
I love that. I'll put that down. So increase your gratitude for yourself, increase your self-love. Yes.
Yeah.
And not just like, I think it's when we really evaluate ourselves about what do we give to others, what do we do for others, what do we bring to the table in our relationships, in our work, how are we serving the world? Appreciate that about yourself, give yourself a pat on the back for it, celebrate those wins, even if it's things like a physical attributes or personality attributes. You know, I'm a fun person, or I'm a reserved person, but being calm and collected is my quality. Equally, somebody might be really loud and extrovert, and it could be like, will I be the life and the soul of the party? So I love that about myself. Equally, it could be physical attributes, like really appreciating that I've got eyes to see, you know, like you talked about the blood flow, my bones, I've got nice silky hair. Whatever it might be, you will find things to love about yourself. So definitely you can increase your self-love with that. I was just looking through some of the comments. I can see that Sammy's also got a hand up as well, so I'm going to go to Sammy in a moment. Also got here is that Rich was just mentioning about he's got his game tonight at 8 o'clock. He's back at football since last week, so he's been so excited, and he's gonna remind himself to be happy no matter what. And Gemma's talking about being your own best supporter, because Rich was saying he's his own worst critic and never supports himself. So yeah, be our own cheerleaders. I mean, Rich is such an amazing cheerleader for me. Why doesn't he do it for himself? You know, need to talk more to myself in the mirror positively, Rich was saying before he went. He's just had to leave now, bless him. And Gemma's just saying, remind yourself on a time when you did the best and build on that. Awesome tip. So that goes for everybody in the room today. Build on that. When have you done really well? And remember it and remind yourself, because sometimes we forget all the amazing things we've done, and we need to maybe, again, write it down. So over to Sammy, what would you like to share? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Hello, lovely. This has been so good, actually. Thank you. I actually teach self-love, so I'm a self-love motivator, and I run self-love workshops. And the one thing that I would, and it was because I had to go on a journey of self-love for myself. So it is the habits, it is the things like doing the mirror work, it is the things like identifying within yourself what is it that you love about yourself. But the way that I define self-love in a nutshell is truly and fully accepting yourself as you are, which means also embracing the things within yourself that you think you could improve upon, or might want to, that you don't think is your best quality, but loving yourself despite that, or in spite of that, I should say, because that's part of what you were saying right at the beginning about self-awareness. It's having that self-awareness is part of loving yourself, and knowing that this is when your buttons can be pushed, this is when you react like this, going back to what you were saying in the middle, actually, of even like how do you react to somebody or your partner, and even not just with your partners and things, but in any relationship, how you interact with other people. And I think it's so important when we do love ourselves to love our flaws as well, because we're humans, meaning we're perfectly imperfect beings. Nobody's going to be perfect. Even the other person that you want to be with, they're going to have things that are going to drive you up the wall sometimes. I'm sure as much as you love your husband and as amazing as it is, there's probably times where you go, oh my God, I could kill him. But that's
Every
the whole,
day.
I think that's the exactly. But I think that's the beauty of beautiful relationships, and being in a space when you have healed your heart and you're able to be open and willing to be the partner in a relationship. And that means knowing, like, firstly gaining the self-awareness to know yourself, but also then embracing it. So if you don't mind, I'll give you a quick example.
Go for it.
I used to be somebody that was very much in my divine masculine, more than and not even divine masculine, probably destructive masculine, wounded masculine, if you like, rather than in my divine feminine. It was only when I started to go on my healer journey that I really had to really step into my feminine. And for a long time, when I was first on that journey, I used to really be upset about having been in my masculine state, because I felt like that's what had cost me my relationship. So I was really mad at my masculine side. But I have so much to be grateful for. If I didn't have that masculine side, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the things that I have, because that was the side of my personality that, okay, when I'm with a man, I might want to adapt or change what part of myself, because I also am of the belief that we have both in us. So we have a divine masculine and we have a divine feminine, and it's about finding the balance. And actually, because I've been to Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, and that's a lot about the polarity in relationships and what, discovering your divine masculine and divine feminine. But when I started to forgive, not just forgive myself for being in my masculine, but really embrace and love it, that's when I started to understand what self-love really was. Because at that point I went, do you know what? I'm going to love all parts of me, even the part of me that can be a bit bossy sometimes. Now that I have awareness of it, then I can, in my relationship, go, no, you're not my staff member and I can't tell you what to do in the same way. And actually it changed even my relationships at work, because I changed how I then approach staff, even when I had to do stuff. This is back in corporate. Because at that time, if you weren't stepping into the masculine, you weren't getting anywhere. But there was other ways to go about it. So sorry, I'm going to start digressing. But self-love to me is fully accepting. Thank you so much. Fully accepting who you are, and embracing your flaws, because they're part of what make you you.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's so true. As you were saying it, I wrote it down straight away. Truly and fully accepting yourself, and then I put it in brackets even before you said it, even accepting your flaws. And what I loved was, it's awesome. True when we're in a relationship. When we're in a relationship, and everything you just spoke about, I totally resonate with all of it, because I've been in that path, and I'm very masculine energy at times, and I've been in heavy corporate work, which has made me be that way, and it has served a purpose, and I've needed that, because now I can enjoy both feminine, masculine energies and utilize whichever one I want whenever I need it. So it's not a bad thing. Also, embracing if you're a bit bossy or if you're a bit quiet. Don't be like, oh, that's the worst thing, I need to talk more because I'm quiet. No, let's just be happy with that. Be accepting our flaws is a massive part of when we start being in this way with ourselves. Will you not only just attract somebody who will accept you as a whole, because you're beaming from that energy where you're accepting yourself as a whole, so you'll attract the right type of person. The second benefit of it is you will also then accept them as a whole. Because I think when you're in a place where you don't even accept your flaws, when you meet somebody who's not kind of ticking all those boxes, you're highlighting their flaws and you're thinking, but he's got this, but he ain't got this. Well, because you're not in a complete space yourself, you're not accepting them completely, and it can sometimes cause massive problems in dating and forming the right relationships.
I think it also, it goes into the attachment styles. So we have our different, that's one thing I've discovered on, I think I knew it already, but then I've rediscovered it on the course that I've been on with the avoidant attachment, the anxious attachment, and then, which you're probably a great Hurst in, but also then the secure attachment. And when you're in your secure place, you're not needing that validation from the other person. And then you get to really enjoy the relationship because it's not coming from a space of like, oh my God, do they like me? Or, like that's the anxious attachment, to be fair, where you need a lot of reassurance and stuff. But then you also find that anxious attachment attract by manifestation, attract the avoidance, because they have to, I think we're given experiences so that we learn to heal ourselves, but I think that's why that you find that a lot in when you're attracting from an what's the right word I'm trying to use, from a not secure space. Whereas when you're secure in yourself, because when you love yourself, you are secure in yourself, because there's nothing that can stop you from having that feeling, and therefore you attract the person that loves you in your best space. And isn't that what you want anyway in a relationship, is to be with somebody who brings out the best in you and you bring out the best in them?
You just hit the nail on the head, because when I was in a place where I was confused and I wasn't fully accepting of myself, and I was in all sorts of things going on in my head and my energy, I was meeting all sorts of people that weren't the right fit for me. But the minute I said, I'm just going to love myself and have a best relationship with myself, I got so confident and secure in myself, and I wasn't looking for validation. So the minute I even met Rish, and even after we've got married, I've constantly, that's been a massive thing for me, and I'm glad you brought it up. I don't seek validation from him for anything, because I validate myself. And I remember seeing it in him, that I used to always seek validation from his parents or from his dad for certain things. And I'm like, babe, I keep noticing that you really want this approval of your dad's for some reason. Why can't you just go to approving yourself? Why do you need him to approve? And that shifted some massive things for him. So I'm glad you've shared that, and I hope that that can help people in the group. I've just eyeballed the time, and I've seen that we've run over. We are going to run over slightly today, but we are towards the end now. So hopefully you guys will still hold fire a little bit longer whilst we just complete the session. I can see that Nadia has actually shared a good book attached by Levine and Hella. Thank you so much for sharing that. So if anybody wants that. And also, Sammy, thank you for sharing about the attachment styles, because I think some people in the room won't necessarily have heard of these. So hopefully you can go away and look this up, maybe on YouTube or online if there's articles.
You're going to have to do another session, darling.
Yeah, there'll have to be part 2. I think we'll have to bring yourself as a guest speaker for this. Something I do want you to share, though, you said about mirror work, and it's been mentioned in the comments. Now, for the benefit of some people in the group here who may not have done this or may not understand what this is, can you, Sammy, share a few little tips around doing some effective mirror work, or what it means?
Sure. It's one of my favorite things to do. It actually comes from my healing method from Louise Hay. So for anyone that wants to do a bit more deep self-healing work, read the book You Can Heal Your Life. It is phenomenal. It's a game changer. I've got a copy from the 1990s that I stole off my mum. Yeah, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And I do this with all of my clients. It's actually part of my workshop too. And it's to just look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Now, in the beginning, it can be very uncomfortable. And that's the point, is to really start. Thank you for putting that in the comments for me. It can be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but the point is to get comfortable with looking into your own eyes, because what you'll suddenly realize is how we actually speak to ourselves. And a lot of the times we don't realize. So you might drop something on the floor and go, oh, idiot. You've just called yourself an idiot, and all you did was drop it on the floor. Would you do that to your child? Would you call them an idiot because they dropped something? Would you do that to your mother? Would you do that to your best friend? But you're doing it to yourself. And that's why mirror work is so important, because it means you are looking at yourself and you are looking at how do I speak to myself? Do you tell yourself loving things? When you go, oh my God, I have such beautiful eyes. And then you have to look at yourself in the mirror and go, okay. But then at some point when you repeat and you continue to do it, that's why the habit is so important. And I loved your idea about brushing teeth. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to totally steal that one, because
I want everybody
I do
to
mine in the
steal
shower
every single nugget they can.
Thanks, gorgeous. I do a lot of my mirror work in the shower, because now I have a mirror in my shower, which is really interesting. But it means I have to look at myself fully naked and go, so you're going to love all of this, including this handle over here and the handle. And the more I've done it, and actually I've written on my mirror, since being on my course, I've written on my mirror, I am more than enough and I am worthy of love. And even when you love yourself and you have certain experiences, you still have to keep doing the things that made you love yourself. So that's one of the biggest things I've learned on my own self-love journey, is I started doing those workshops 4 years ago. Then I got myself into a relationship that didn't go well, which I think I shared in the beginning. And after that, I put some self-limiting beliefs in place, but I'd stopped doing the things, the rituals that I'd started to get to loving myself, which I then wanted to teach other people. So I had to go back on the journey. I had to stop actually doing the workshops for a while. And I really had to start going back to basics. And the thing is that when you're looking in the mirror and you're brushing your teeth, that's a really good time, because you're by default looking at yourself in the mirror. You can't help it, you're having to brush your teeth. But that's a really good time to look at yourself. But to take time, look in the mirror and tell yourself, and just do it as a challenge, so that you only have to say 3 things. Only 3 things. If it's that challenging for you, just start with, I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. And repeat it till you mean it. And sometimes that can take a little bit of time, but maybe you could share that maybe people can share in your group. I'm happy to join your group.
Isn't it?
And just start it as a challenge. Look, for the next 7 days. I mean, why don't you start that as a challenge in your group anyway, Manny? Just for the next 7 days, everybody look in the mirror and say, I love you. And then start looking, what are the things that you love about yourself? You're going to look in the mirror and see something. I love my eyes. I think they're the windows to my soul. They're pretty. They're not too bad. I've learned to love my very bent nose. It's not very bent. I know it's bent, but then when I show people, they're like, oh my God, it's bent. I'm like, exactly, but it's unique. It's mine. There's nobody else with this nose. What else can I love? I can love other things. Then do I have things that I don't love so much? Yeah, I've got a tie around my middle that I wasn't a fan of, but the more I've loved it and gone, do you know what? It's just part of me. I'm going to love on it anyway. It's just dropping away now. I'm like, hey, where are you going? I was loving you. So it's amazing what our bodies even respond to when we're loving ourselves. So that's mirror work for anyone that wanted to know. I'm totally digressing. I'm so sorry. I get very passionate.
Okay, no, that was really powerful. And you know what? I love that idea. I've always said to Rish, I'd love to have a full-size mirror in the bathroom. So that is something we'd love to have. And I'm glad you shared that you've got that, because it's true to fully see yourself and fully accepting yourself and loving yourself head to toe. How much more can you have than seeing yourself? I was working with a client where they said, I'll do some mirror work, but I don't actually have a mirror, I don't think, at home. I said, how have you not even got any mirrors? And he said, I've got a little mirror, but he goes, actually, now that we're talking about it, I don't like looking at myself. And I thought, oh my gosh, wow, this is so much deep work that people need. And I want you guys to do that now, actually. I can see most of you have got your cameras off, but what I'd like you to do is put your cameras on. I was going to say, if you've got a mirror, I have actually got one right here with me. I do a lot of mirror work, as you can see. If you have got a mirror nearby, I want you to get the mirror, or if you haven't, put your camera on, and I want you to look at yourself and do that. Even if you keep yourself muted, and even if it's one quick affirmation you're going to do, look into your own eyes now, and I want you to really look at yourself and just say something, whether it's in your head or say it out loud. But for me, I love myself, and I love myself for the work I'm doing, and I love myself for putting on this amazing event today that is serving myself, serving others, and it's going to help people start this healing journey. So I really do. Suman, I love you. You're amazing.
Suman, do you want to turn your the screen share off so we can all see each other?
Go for it. And also in a moment, I do want Gemma to just share something that she's just shared in the comments, the technique of Lisa Nichols. If you want to share that in a minute, that'll be really great as well. Awesome. So if everybody's seeing that right now, Sammy's just sharing her amazing mirror in the bathroom.
Getting critical on what my headscarf looks like. That's hilarious. Let me hold it this way. There we go. So I will talk to myself. I'm not even looking at you guys. I know you're over here somewhere. And I'm just going to say, I love you so much. Look at you, you beautiful woman. You are so more than enough. Wow. Hello. Yes, we're not going to notice the extra wrinkle because guess what? There's more wisdom.
Awesome.
It came with age.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Gemma, if you'd like to share.
Yeah. So there's a technique of Lisa Nichols. I might have got the numbers wrong, but basically,
don't worry about that. That's fine.
I did her course, Speak and Inspire, on Mind Valley. I don't think this is her exercise. I think she got it off someone else. But you, at the end of the day, you look in the mirror and you say 5 things that you're proud of. So, like, I'd say, like, I'm proud of myself that I went for a walk today. I'm proud of myself that I went on this workshop, you know, etc., etc. And then 5 things that you forgive yourself. So, but you say your name as well. So it'd be like, Gemma, I forgive you today that you went over on your screen time. Gemma, I forgive you today, etc. And then 3 things that you commit to. So like, Gemma, I commit to tomorrow going to my cleaning job, or what, you know what I mean, like things that you're going to commit to. Doing my meditation in the morning.
5 things you forgive yourself for, 5 things you get commitment for.
No, 5 things forgive yourself, 5 things you're proud of. Start with the proud one, then forgiveness, then 3 things you commit to.
3 things, yeah.
I think just because 3 is a bit easier to remember your commitment.
Especially when we were talking about not having too many goals. So commitments are like having those mini goals. Awesome. So a couple of things I just had in the bullet points here was about ways we can increase this, what we've done in the past, what we'd advise others, which I feel like we've just done now anyways. But one quick thing I do want to ask Manny is if anybody still feels a bit of guilt around this self-love, because sometimes we've been so conditioned to keep doing and giving for others and we don't give ourselves enough. I remember I've got my mate who's got kids and she's like, I can't take time out for myself because I feel like I'm neglecting my children. So she feels guilty to take time out for ourselves, even with a kid. So if anybody is listening to this back as a replay, or again, anybody in the room today feeling a bit guilty around giving themselves that time or saying those nice words to themselves, do you have any suggestions for anybody to help them overcome any guilt or bad feelings around doing this? You're muted, sorry.
Yeah, so basically I'm going to look at 2 different ways. There's emotions, there's a heaviness feeling within you. So you just need to acknowledge and release. And when it comes to action, you know, when you're dealing it with the guilt, you just need to tell yourself, you just need to talk to yourself. It's like a self-talk in order to release or avoid. But if you're already holding it, just acknowledge and forgive yourself going through this.
Yeah, I would also say you could maybe write it down. Journaling, something was a topic that was discussed in my Positive Vibes group today. So just writing down how you're thinking, how you're feeling, what is these feelings telling you or teaching you? Great way to reflect and start removing and releasing those feelings. Again, I can see Sammy's got a hand up, so go for it, Sammy.
Sorry, I was just going to say that when we fully love ourselves, then we can fully receive love. And when it comes to being a mother, actually, you want to be able to fully receive the love that you give to your children, and you can fully give love because you are able to receive it, etc. And then that comes back to actually what we were talking about right in the beginning when I was talking about nomoi and what does that mean to show up as the best version of yourself? Well, as a mum, don't you want to give your children the best version of yourself? And the way to do that is to fully love yourself, because you're also the role model. And I think this is where mothers, and I've had it with my own mum, because my mum's so willing to do things that will help me, but not necessarily herself. And then I had to say to her when I
isn't it?
started my journey, you're setting the tempo of how I should, you're the role model for me on how I need to be with my children and how I need to be with other people. And right now, if you don't put yourself first, you're teaching me to put others before myself, which means as my mum, you're not doing your job, which can be quite hard to hear. But as a mum learning that on a course like this, that's great, because then we're learning that actually by putting ourselves first, we're giving our children the best possible outcome for learning how to love, and how loving yourself first is going to give you the ability to love others fully as well. So I just thought I'd add that in.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. So we've already kind of talked about action steps, and again, if you feel like sharing this in the chat box, do share it. Is there any specific you're going to do in terms of self-love? Something you might do today, something you might do tomorrow, or something you want to do, definitely get it done this week, something you want to improve in the area of self-love for yourself, and giving yourself that extra care and attention that maybe you realize today you've not been doing as much of, or as much as you think you have. Or maybe there's somebody here thinking, I don't do that at all. So wherever you are in life, it's fine. Just take these suggestions and thoughts forward now and share. And if you'd like to share it in the chat box, something you're going to do going forward. So that brings us to the end. If you have got any Q&A, and if Manny wants to share any other thoughts, this is the best time to do it. And then straight after this, we're going to go into Manny's healing meditation.
I just wanted to say, just because I made quite an extreme comment in the comments, just not to scare anyone about it, but so sometimes as part of like my mental health journey, I've had what might be called like intrusive thoughts. So it just happened then, like, you know, like it's almost as if do you know those like teenage lads where, I don't know if anyone knew any at their school, but basically there was this guy at my school that used to do like really extreme things just to kind of be like, yeah, I'm not going to join in with what everyone else is doing, I'm going to staple my arm. It was just completely, you know, idiotic and stupid, and hurt himself. But it's almost as if he couldn't just like, you know, do the lesson. He had to be like center of attention. And I think there's something about my mind that does that, where it's like everyone's talking about self-love, whereas my mind's like, well, I'm going to smash the mirror because I hate you. Like, and I'm like, I obviously don't hate myself. I think there is like, I am disappointed in my life sometimes, and I think that I wish that it could be different. But like something that Sammy just said then, like about would you treat a child like that? I think that's something that I'm sort of like getting of just like, okay, I have to be the mother now, and like, would a mother do that? No. Yeah. Like it's about, but then at the same time loving myself, like understanding why that's there. I know why that's there, because yeah, I had massive dreams for my life. I still have massive dreams for my life, and I want those dreams to come true. And the anger at myself is, why aren't them bloody dreams coming true yet? You know what I mean? But it just needs to be changed to, okay, how can we make those dreams a reality? And if they're not a reality, how can we accept and love myself through that?
Okay. So I'm going to add on a little bit, you know, so basically you go the big vision, your dream life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you need to do is check your reality where you are right now. Okay. Then kind of measure the gap between you are where you're right now and where you want to go. And then you need to break that into as small as you can achieve something in 1 week. Okay. So that big vision, it might be a bit too much for you right now. Okay. I think that's what is I can see. Okay. So there's anxiety and there's a frustration. So, you know, that dream or that vision is your soul wants to explore before leave this planet. So it doesn't have to happen today. Okay. So you need to break it. Something you can achieve within a week, okay? Or something you can achieve today. And then start celebrating. Okay. So we already worked with that big vision, that dream is you're attached to it. Okay. So if you think, okay, I'm like, for example, we go about 75 years to live, and we don't have to get that end goal right now. So we go many more years to get there. Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry, I just got a vision of me at 75 just on a stage, because it's to do with being on the stage. Some of it is anyway. And just imagining me at 75 just there on the stage, like, I made it.
It's not going to happen age of
Like in a big
75.
movie.
Yeah, but Gemma, it's not going to happen. Like, you don't think that, you have to wait that long. You don't need to judge you don't need to judge when it's going to happen. You're just going to allow universe to take you there. So that's why. And other thing I would say, if there's something holding you back, maybe there's something you can't recognize, but it's subconsciously there, then I would say, you should, you can seek a little bit help about, there's some great hypnotherapists. They can help you to, kind of remove some of the childhood trauma we don't recognize, but it's still there. But then please detach with the big vision. It's going to happen, it will happen quickly if you detach, because we think it's in our control. That's how we think. Okay, let's take a charge of our life. I'm taking charge of life. That's where I think always we need to do groundwork. Is you are the creator of your reality. I 100% believe in this. But who is creating through you? So that's it. If you detach yourself from your big vision and allow universe to create you through that, to your big vision, and then you'll feel more flow and kind of, more, kind of content and happy to have that vision, because some people don't even have that vision. And, if you want to speak, is that's your big vision, you want to speak on a stage. Yeah.
More. I mean, I'd like to speak on stages as well. It's just any. I mean, it's mostly singing. It's more about singing my songs, but also
Yeah.
I'd like to be a speaker as well.
Yeah.
Just anything really, like being a I think I'm already doing it. That's my job.
To say, Gemma, you're already a speaker and you're already a singer.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
It's about, I think it's just the leveling up that you want to have it the next level, or maybe 4 or 5 levels.
Yeah, I think it just feels slow sometimes, because it's like I might be performing to maybe, I think the last one was quite a few people, but it's obviously on Zoom, so it's like maybe 20-30 people at biggest. But that's okay. And it's nice, like it's nice to get that feeling of, but obviously, when I was at college at 21, I kind of like, it's just, I was doing it daily, training daily. So it's just that vision has been pumped into me so much that, like, you must achieve this, otherwise you're nothing. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I know that's not true. I know that I'm a person in my own right with my own life, and I don't have to be a famous superstar to be worthy. I do know that, but there's something in my, and I work on it daily because I'm a life coach as well. So I know all these things, and I've done hypnotherapy courses and, done all the therapy, but I still need to do it. And I guess it's just trusting the process. And I help others with it as well, because people come to me with the same thing and they say, I've had dreams of big arenas, and I'm like, okay, what's your next step?
Yeah, so I mean, like, we all need help, and we're all on a learning path, so that's why, we're here together, so just you already know what to do, just to believe in the process. You just said it, so, but don't, becoming angry with yourself, like, that's not going to help you. But if you do feel angry, then that's okay. Accept yourself, being angry as well. That's all right to be angry.
It's feeling the anger. I actually wrote a song about it today where I was like, it said something about like feeling the anger because that's your fire, like, but like also crying the tears because that's, but then also, but it's not about being angry at yourself or other people because that's destructive. So it's about you. It's like, I don't know if you've heard of like holy anger, where it's almost like it just drives your passion. It's more like passion rather than anger, but yeah.
Yes.
That reminds me of like in the Hindu culture, you've got Shivji and the, you know, the god Shiva. He's all about, he does this, they call it the Tandav dance, and he does a dance of like destruction, but it's through his anger and his aggression. He will dance in an aggressive way because it's a way of causing some destruction, but it is about very much passion that's linked to that. So maybe do some meditation on this side of yourself and maybe see if this kind of energy can come and help you resolve, because
Yeah.
I think because of all the work you've done and everything you're about, you also know there's a little thing in the back of your head that says, look, if I continue to be very angry more of the time, I'm just going to attract more of this type of thing. So I think the key is not doing it too much. Anger is normal and it is a part of our lives. We're human, we're supposed to feel it. We're not supposed to feel it regularly, daily and intensively. We're supposed to have a time and place for it. So just, I guess, evaluate that and the levels of it. And if there's a little bit of it, again, just accepting that that's okay. And hey, now that I've got the awareness, I can do something about it, and being okay with it, like you said in your own words, what's the next steps? So yeah, I'm just, again, I'm conscious of the time, but I was just wondering that, was there anything else that Manny wanted to share at all? Because I know there was a few other tips that you may have wanted to share. Was there anything that's maybe not been covered or you really like wish to share further before we move on to the meditation at the end, or any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, I'll just kind of, do a bit, say something again. I probably already mentioned this. To me, grounding myself and also taking action should have the balance between, yeah. Otherwise, I used to start get frustrated, and I don't like being frustrated. I'm a person, I can't, like argue, or, I don't like this fire in me or around me. I like to being peaceful, so that's why I think if we don't ground ourselves, and we should ground many times, not just in the morning and evening time. And Gemma, anger is fine. It's all right. It's like maybe the fire wants to create something. And I think you just need to become friend with your anger. That's all you need to do it, because anger can be amazing because it's looking something to create, and you just need to find the way how to create it. Just work on it, respect it, and just turn this fire into light and just shine. That's all you have to work. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so true what you've just said there, because fire, if you think about the sun, it's a massive ball of fire burning away, but look at how much beautiful light we get from it. We get warmth, we get our crops which give us life, oxygen, food. It can be amazing of what that light and fire can mean, depending on, it either can burn something down or it can either create something really lovely. And whether you're creating glow and warmth from it or whether you're destroying things, I guess, yeah, utilize it in the best way, I guess.
Yeah, and also anger can bring lots of ideas in you. And all you need to do when you feel that anger coming into you, get ready to write down why you're angry and what your anger wants you to do. So if you could connect with your anger more deeper level, and I think that's where your answer is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. If anybody has got any other questions and thoughts before we move on to this last part now of the healing meditation, Manny, do you just want to quickly let people know where they can connect with you if they're not already connected? Where's the best way to get in touch with you if they've got any other questions for yourself? For myself, of course, you've got me on social media. If you're on WhatsApp, if you're connected to me, you can message me directly, or in the Positive Vibes group. Feel free to message me on any of the platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn are my main contact places. How about yourself, Manny?
So my main platform is Instagram. You know, I love it so much. You know, just soon I wake up in the morning, you know, when you wake up, there will be a story from me. So I call myself Love Guide. Yeah, because that's how I transformed myself. So Love Guide Many.
I love it.
Yeah, there's no hyphen, there's no, you know, full, it's just a Love Guide Many. That's all my, that's how you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. But Facebook, I just share whatever I share on Instagram, I just share on Facebook, but I hardly connect. But then I have created a Facebook group, Love Life Manifestation. But I'm really active on Instagram, and I just love Instagram. It's got little 15-second video. You can have IGTV. I actually created some guides this
I
morning.
saw that the other day. The guide was amazing and it inspired me. At the bottom it said create your own guide. I thought I will.
Yeah, so the guide was amazing. It took me about a few hours to complete. You know, it looks like a blog. So I was telling my website builder, you know, I don't really need your website anymore. My Instagram doing everything now. I can, you know, do my blogs there. You know, I can have a 1-hour video. Yeah, so if you want to follow me, Love Guide Many, that's who I am.
Awesome.
And I'm talking about self-love, manifest love, love with, you know, school run, love with your food, you know, love with, you know, like love your sister who's always angry with you, you know. Yeah, so just like, and love your husband, you know, challenging yourself, you know, just trying to love everything. That's
loving
all.
that future partner that you're attracting in your life before they've manifested physically, giving them that love whilst they're on their way to you.
Yes,
Awesome.
definitely, yeah.
So I'm just going to stop the screen share now and we'll go into the final bit of the meditation, and at the end of the meditation I'm just going to close it with no further questions, answers or discussion. So I'm giving you lots of love, light now. Thank you so much for attending today, being part of today's session. Thank you so much, Mani. And also I did achieve a few contributions from a few of you, so thank you so much for you who did send a donation contribution for this event. Really truly appreciate it from my heart. So over to you, Mani, for closing us off with the beautiful Healing Hearts meditation now.
Suman, could you play some music, if again the same music, a
Absolutely.
little low in volume?
I will do. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I might need to make sure it's shared on my screen. Sharing my sound of my screen. 1 minute. Don't know how to do it without a screen share. I think I need to do it with a screen share. Hold on. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that volume okay for you, Mani?
I can't hear anything. Anybody else can hear anything?
1 minute.
I'm not sure it'll work on Zoom, ladies, because Zoom cuts you out. So you'll.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay,
That's
Mani? Can you guys hear that?
Yes,
Right.
that's fine.
Awesome.
Oh, it's gone again.
I think it's when I'm minimizing the screen, isn't it?
Okay, just yeah,
There
just
you go. I'll
make
leave
it
the
full.
screen up.
Make it full.
There you go.
Okay. You're sitting on a chair. Make sure you relax your feet on the floor. If you're sitting on a bed or sofa, cross your legs. Relax your shoulders. Relax your spine. Remember, your scalp is lifted. You can place your hands on your thighs, palm facing up, down. It's your choice. All I want you to feel, relax relaxation in your body. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose. Fill your lungs. Expand your rib cage. Relax your shoulders. And when you exhale, you're letting go any tension. Let it go. Take another deep breath through your nose. Fill your lungs. Create a space around your heart. Feel your breath flowing around your heart, healing your heart, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your rib cage. And when you exhale, you're letting go any pain, tightness, one time more, take a deep breath. Very deep breath, fill your lungs, expand. Now hold your breath and keep hold your breath. And feel the air is flowing around your heart, into your lungs, towards your abdomen. And when exhale, completely letting go. I want you to become aware of your belly button, your root chakra, your pelvic floor. You're going to breathe into belly, into our abdomen. Take a deep breath. Relax your lungs and allow your breath to flow towards your abdomen. Feel touching the root chakra, you're inviting the root chakra. Keep breathing into your abdomen. And when you exhale, you're gonna let go. Any deep-rooted trauma you're holding on, any guilt, any emotions, completely let it go. Take another deep breath into your abdomen. Expand. When it feels tight, then hold your breath for a moment. Allow this nice, fresh, healing energy heal the core. If you have any emotions or any thoughts, just let your mind wander around and flow. We're not holding anything, just let it flow. Now exhale, empty your stomach, release your traumas, any emotions you've been suppressing. Take another deep breath through your nose. Allow your breath to flow towards your abdomen. Once again, keep breathing and expand. Feel the red energy flowing into your abdomen. You feel energy floating towards your feet. Feel the roots into the Mother Earth. And exhale, completely letting go. Now just focus on your of love. Body is completely relaxed, your mind is relaxed. You're ready to heal anything you're living. Visualize your heart chakra, color green. Feel the energy healing your heart chakra. If you feel any emotions, fully experience, accept, forgive, and let go. If you experience any unwanted feelings, let it flow. Remember, not holding on to something you're experiencing, accepting, forgiving, and letting go. Now become aware of the sole of your feet. Connect with Mother Earth. Allow the root to grow under the Earth Mother and pull up divine Mother Earth energy, color green, from the ground of the soul. Feel the sensation of the sole of your feet. Energy started to spread and float upwards, healing, grounding, pushing your feet. Energy is healing energy floating upward towards your calves, shin bones, back of your knees, top of your knees. Top of your thighs, back of your thighs, your hips, pelvic, abdomen, tailbone, lower spine, upper spine. Relax your rib cage. Heal your heart, lungs, stomach, diaphragm. Heal your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms. index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, little pinky fingers. Feel the relaxation traveling upward towards your neck, throat. Feel your throat chakra. Relax completely. Now feel the energy traveling towards your towards your scalp, upward to the divine. And visualize you're surrounded by green energy. Is healing every single cell of your body. Now another beam light coming from divine, traveling from your skull, forehead, eyes, ears, throat, your shoulders and your arms, all the way down to your fingers. Your spine, your chest, abdomen, your waistline, hips, top of your thighs, back of your thighs, top of your knees, back of your knees, cheekbones, calves, ankles, heels, top of your feet, toes, and sole of your feet. Now I want you to visualize your aura. Green is a symbol of love, and just surrounded by this energy of love. Your aura is protected by the golden ray of light. Visualize. See yourself in a bubble, in a healing bubble, and the protection layer above. Visualize. Create this lovely healing energy around you. Feel the love within you. Feel the warmth within you. Place your palms on your closed eyes. Wipe your face, side of your face, your neck, shoulders, and just give yourself nice warm bath and feel love within yourself and gently open your eyes. Thank you very much for joining for this lovely meditation today, and I look forward to join you all again. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.